why do you believe the claims, even though we don't even know who wrote them down or what the original claims were? That would be my question.
I believe the claims because of the mountain of evidence that supports the understanding of Jesus as the creator.
Such as
the resurrection of Jesus Christ with the testimonial evidence that we have, and the self-identity claims made with authority in the Bible.
Well, there aren't any of those, but so time out. So because somebody said so 2,000 years ago is all it takes for you to believe that somebody resurrected?
Do you not think testimonial evidence is evidence?
The question is that all it takes for you to believe that?
Some sort of evidence to have some sort of belief to be true? Yeah, I would require some sort of evidence. Is that sufficient evidence?
You're shifting the goalpost in a very weird way.
Sufficient enough to hold
Kai,
belief?
You gotta settle down. Is testimony given 2,000 years ago enough for you to believe that somebody resurrected?
Is that alone enough? If three guys say 2,000 years ago, Jim Bob, no, of course not.
You said that was the strongest evidence.
That would be the strongest evidence in line with other evidences. You understand? So it's not just this one thing of some Muslim comes to me and says.
But the other thing you said had nothing to do with the resurrection. So I'm just asking you, is somebody said so 2,000 years ago, is hearsay good enough for you to believe that a resurrection happened?
I already answered. Of course not. That wouldn't be sufficient enough. And I told you why, right? So if one person says this thing occurred, I'm not going to take that as something that occurred, especially something that goes against physical laws like a resurrection.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous to believe.
I agree.
That'd be a ridiculous belief to have. But now when you have the overwhelming evidence of not one person, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, but an entire village. I know villages of 500 people, 300 people, right? So when we have a whole village saying that this thing occurred,
what are you talking about?
The resurrection.
What village saw this happen?
I'm reciting the 500 witnesses stated in, I think it's Paul.
Right, so Paul said that somebody told him that 500 people saw this. So is somebody saying to somebody else that 500 people saw this? I mean, I don't know how that counts as overwhelming evidence, because we don't have a testimony of 500 people. We just have a person saying that a person told them that 500 people saw this. Another huge problem with this, let's say that there are 500 people that saw this. It's very odd that only the Gospels and Paul talk about this. The idea that no other contemporary person in that period would have told that story, and then anybody else would have talked about it. I mean, this would have been the most remarkable thing that had ever happened, and yet the evidence is completely lacking, except in these few instances. If somebody's making it up, then you're going to find the incident talked about. But if it really happened, so like, for example, with Muslims, they say, I say to them, here's how I know your book is false. It says the moon split in half. Everybody on the planet would have seen that happen, and they would have never stopped talking about it. So, but then they say, well, no, it was witnessed and talked about. Yeah, in your book, that's almost circular reasoning in that. And then like in Matthew, it says that the graves opened up and the saints went up and walked around. Again, the idea that could have happened, but it's talked about nowhere else, just makes it sound way too absurd.
Do you think we can come to, with a certain level of evidence, to a level of certainty? Not this is maximally likely, but certainty.
When it comes to this sort of thing, if we can ever know that miracles happen, then we could start talking about increasing the likelihood that this really did happen. Until then, I'm going to take this with as many grains of salt as every single mythology from Zeus and Odin to Horus to the dragon myths in some other culture, some other place in the world throughout history. Which would be enough salt to kill me, probably.
What you just said gave great insight, because what you said is no matter the amount of evidence, even though it might be more likely in the case of we experience a miracle, so now we can acknowledge this miracle might be more true, right? You said we can't come to certainty, so there's always going to be a level of faith in what you hold your beliefs in, right? So when you're asking me, how do I believe this
Not exactly.
certainty, and I give you sufficient evidence,
it's not sufficient because we don't
for me to believe in certainty.
It's not enough for you either.
Certainty can be accessed. So you're always going to be
Kai,
on this
it's not enough for you either because
faith.
you don't believe in any mythology or religion except your own.
When you say believe in mythology, I believe that the Quran exists as a text.
Yeah, but you don't think that he ascended to heaven on a Pegasus and split the moon in half?
No, I don't believe some of the doctrine, because I have reasons to believe that would be a false prophet, for example. I'm not going to get into that. That's not this live. But
I have reasons to believe that there's no such things as prophets, because I don't believe in magic or supernatural forces. They've never been demonstrated to be real. And what I was really saying is until somebody can demonstrate that those things are real, then we can talk about increasing the likelihood that the historical claims of them are real is warranted.